Hey everyone, Danny Miles back from Toronto for another edition of the IntoBridge Daily Celebrity Challenge. We're going to play 5 deals with the robot, and you're going to compare your score to mine. So my robot, Leah, is using Gavin's Master Advanced System. So our options may be slightly different if you're using a different system. And Happy New Year, everyone. Let's get going. So on the first deal, nobody vulnerable, we're going to want to compete as aggressively as we can for the part score in the deal. But our East opponent has opened 1 heart. So we have nothing to say. We have 13 points, not strong enough to overcall a no trump. And we are happy to let the opponents maybe get themselves into trouble. And our partner is also a passed hand. So let's see what they do here. Well, now this is interesting. Some people would play here that double is kind of two-way. It's either takeout or penalty, and your partner has to figure it out because you didn't double the first time. So most people would probably treat this as a penalty double if I doubled. So let's just see what double means. Takeout double. So no, I cannot do that. Even if it was a penalty double, I'm not so sure I would do that. I do have 4 trump tricks and an ace, but I mean, that's actually probably enough to double, but I'm just going to pass. And maybe the opponents, try for a 3 no trump or something. Let's find out. Okay, so 3 clubs is going to be game forcing. And it could be artificial. Stopper in clubs, game forcing 11 or more points. Pseudo natural, 2 or more clubs. So 3 diamonds, that's my other suit. So East and I would actually do very well together on this deal. But we're just going to see where they get to. They're struggling to find a fit, and they're probably going to end in 3 no trump. It would not be crazy to double this. If it was 3 no trump was being played from the west seat, double may be a little bit more attractive because it would get partner off to a heart lead if they have one, which I'm sure they do because East has promised 6. If West had a doubleton, they'd be in hearts. But we're on lead, so it's not going. Double's not going to help us. And the opponents have had a game forcing auction. West is unlimited. Our partner's probably broke. We have 13 points. We know stuff's not breaking great for the opponents, but I think doubles may be a little bit hungry here because the West hand, they could get lucky and kind of take a lot of tricks just in the West hand, and then the King, Queen of Diamonds in the East hand, something like that. And also our hearts are going to be severed from our partner, even if we lead one and set them up. So I'm just going to pass, and then we're going to have to figure out what to lead. Assuming they're going to play in 3 no, it might get corrected here. Okay, so 3 no trump. I think the normal lead here, well, the safest lead would be the King of Hearts. We know the Ace 10 are going to be on our right, well, the Ace for sure, and the 10 almost certainly. So a heart lead is safe. Now that may strip partner of, potential exit card later. The Queen of Clubs is also attractive. Nobody has really bid clubs naturally, but I think I'm going to lead the King of Hearts because I actually want to be in a position where I may have my clubs later as exit cards. If I lead the Queen of Clubs and Declare is able to kind of strip away my black cards, I may end up getting end played to give Declare either an extra diamond or an extra heart trick. So there are layouts, I'm sure, where the Queen of Clubs is right or is the winner, but I think safety and setting up tricks, the King of Hearts, let's just see what happens here. Okay, as expected, Declare is 6-5, and both partner and dummy followed. So basically, we know Declare has the remaining 5 hearts to the 10. So we have 4 heart tricks as long as we are not forced to lead them. King of Clubs. Okay, so Declare's got Ace of Hearts, Ace, King of Clubs. That's 11 points right there. And then some diamond honors. So which club should we play here? Probably doesn't matter. Declare is going to be in a restricted choice type of position where they're going to have to guess on the second round of the suit whether to finesse or to try to drop the Queen Jack doubleton. I mean, of course, it depends how many clubs Declare has. If they have Ace King doubleton, they have no choice. So I'm going to play the Jack. Partner played the 7. That could be from 4 to the 7. There's the Ace of Clubs, dropping our Queen. Lovely. 2. Okay, so Declare actually looks like they had Ace King doubleton of clubs. So now we just have to follow suit and spades. And then we're going to get the last 2 tricks with the Ace of Diamonds and a good heart. So Declare was 6-4-2-1. 1 spade, 6 hearts, 4 diamonds, and 2 clubs. So we're just going to follow suit here, and we're going to actually just get the last trick, right? Declare is going to take all of Dummy's cards, and we're going to save the ace of diamonds till the end. So hopefully partner didn't have the king of diamonds, then we could have actually taken the ace king of diamonds, but that of course would be an impossible lead to find. I'm just going to claim one trick here. Partner did have the king of diamonds. Okay, so if you found a diamond lead against 3-0 trump, congratulations. You would have taken, it looks like, if we go check the results here, you would have held them to 3 because you can take all 4 diamond, all 4 diamond tricks. Because declares queen 8/4 is not quite a stopper. Low to the king, jack of diamonds through, covered by the queen, and then back to the 9 and back to the 10. So if you found a diamond lead, well done, or even the ace, well, the ace of diamonds, no, that would hold them to 5 only. Notice that the opponents actually can make a slam. It's pretty lucky with the queen jack doubleton of clubs dropping. So I have a feeling that's probably going to be a relatively common result. 3-0 trump taking 12 tricks. So next deal, we have 14 high card points, 4-4 in the majors, second seat. We're going to open 1 club. And over a spade, we're simply going to raise to 2 spades. Not quite good enough for 3 spades, but close. Once we decide not to open a balanced hand 1-0 trump, then there's no sense in jumping to 3 spades. 2-0, asking. So at least game try, and let's see what our responses are going to be. A common treatment is something called spiral raises in these situations where over 1 of a minor or 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 spades, the next step asks about opener's hand, and basically the responses are quite simple. First step is 3 cards with a minimum. Second step is 3 cards with a maximum. Third step, 4 card support with a minimum. And the fourth step is 4 card support with a maximum. And you can also play that jumping to the 4 level would be a splinter, that sort of thing, or 3-0 trump would be a super max with 3 card support. Anyway, there's also ways of uncovering declare openers singleton if they happen to have raised with 3. Some people play that, 3 clubs would be a 3 card raise with shortness, and then you can relay and ask sort of thing. But anyway, I think I'm not going to reveal any more information. I think 3 spades is minimum of range non-forcing. Okay, so we definitely not bidding that. I'm just curious what the other responses are here. 3 clubs, natural, game-ish, game. So I'm just going to bid 4 spades here. That's where we intend to play. We have a full maximum here. Doubleton, 14, good trumps. And let's see what partner does. Okay. King of diamonds lead. We have a diamond to lose, a club to lose, potential spade to lose, and 1 or 2 hearts to lose. So how are we going to attack this deal? If I duck the first trick, remember north is the declare and the south hand is visible in dummy. I don't want them to shift to a heart because that could be awkward. Even if one of the hearts is on side, they may end up setting up a ruff for themselves potentially. If we lose to like the queen of spades, we're still going to take a spade finesse. We're not going to decline a spade finesse because that may be needed to make our contract. So we're also a little bit limited in entries to the north hand because we want to take a spade finesse, and we also want to take at least 1 heart finesse. And we may only be able to get to that north hand twice, once in diamonds and then 1 time in clubs if the ace of clubs is with east. So which finesse do we want to take first? Ideally, we'd like to cash the ace of spades before taking a spade finesse, but I'm not sure we're going to have that luxury on this particular deal. We may want to just take a spade finesse right away. And I think actually we don't have to play the jack of spades out of our hand. I think we could play a low spade towards the 9. And then if it wins, we can cash the ace of spades. And if spades were 1 with east holding queen 4th, we can then get back to our hand to run the jack of spades. All that to say is I think we're going to win the first trick and play a spade to the 9. And again, it might be better to play a heart right away. Depends, who's got the hearts and how they're breaking. We don't want to set up a ruff for the opponents though. So let's see what we're going to do here. And notice that ducking isn't really going to gain anything, I don't think. if they continue diamonds, that a pitch is not really going to help. We're just end up pitching a winner anyway. So I'm going to win the ace, and I'll lead a low spade and see what happens. 6, 9, 2. Okay, so that's good news so far. Now, I think we can afford to cash the ace of spades, and that's going to tell us what we're going to need to do. Because if it loses, if trumps are 3-2, we can just draw trump, bang out our clubs to get to our hand, and just try to guess the hearts. So let's try that. If they're 4-1, we're going to have to think again. Okay, no, they're okay here. And unfortunately, I wanted the queen of spades to drop there because then we could get back to the jack and then have an extra entry in hand. So we're going to take king of spades, diamond pitch, okay. And we're just going to play a club. And hopefully the king wins. Hopefully the ace is with West. Nope, it wasn't. So queen of diamonds. Now maybe he'll actually feed us another entry here with the diamond. Let's hope. No, 7 of hearts. That's not looking good, but I think we have no choice but to take 2 finesses here. I'm not brilliant enough to decide otherwise, but hold on, let's count up the points here. Because East has already shown up that the king, queen of diamonds is 5, the ace of clubs is 9, and the queen of spades is 11. And guess what? East was a passed hand. So this is bad news because we know the king, jack of hearts are offside. And unfortunately, East has made a very good play here in that they've switched to a heart now, and we're not going to be able to end play West into, stripping clubs and diamonds and then playing a heart around to them, forcing them to lead another heart. So unfortunately, this is bad news. We're going to end up, I think, in a situation where we're just going to have to hope that it's king, jack, doubleton with West, and I doubt it is, but I think that's all we can do at this stage. I wonder if we can fool them. No, because the 10-9 are hidden. 7, queen, king. No, I think this is just bad news either way. Okay, and but let's count here. King, queen of diamonds, they had. Ace of clubs, they had. That's 9. Queen of spades is 11. They would have opened 12 points. Now, I probably should have actually played low on the first heart, and then if the jack had won on my left, I would know for sure that West had the king. But I'm going to have no choice but to try to drop the jack doubleton, and it's not going to work. So we're 1 down in a perfectly normal contract. We needed 1 of 2 finesses to work, and partner's jack of diamonds was useless. And although the spade finesse we did need as well. So there was nothing we could do there. Let's check the results just in case. Double dummy, we may have been able to end play them. No, making 3 only because East can always lead a heart at any point in time. But let's actually check to see if they had given me an opportunity to make this hand. Okay, no, down 1. Okay, and let's see, did East actually have to shift to a heart here? Probably, then I was going to end play them. No, they could have continued any card in their hand. All right, deal number 3. We're 6-4, 6-4-3-0. It's actually a very good hand. I've always said whenever I'm 6-4, after the hand, I've never said, gee, I wish I should have bid less. Like 6-4 hands are quite powerful on offense. So you want to be taking pretty aggressive views with them. It's amazing how often you'll open one of your major and you'll be 6-4-3-0 or 6-4-2-1, and partner will give you a simple constructive raise and you only have 13 points and whatever, and it just sort of looks like you should pass. But in actual fact, a lot of times just bidding game is the winning action. So we're going to open 1 spade. This hand is far too good for 2 spades. And a no trump. Over a no trump, okay, if East had shut their mouth, I was going to say over a no trump, I would actually bid. It's tempting to bid just 2 spades. At match points, you kind of want to insist on spades in the major, but I would have rebid 2 diamonds with my hand. I think this hand is pretty good. Certainly a lot better than its 10 high card points. But as it is, what do we have to do over 4 hearts? We want to bid. We definitely want to bid. We're not, and also we're not vulnerable. And East bid red, white, 4 hearts. Usually the opponents kind of have their bid when they're red, white, and bid like this. Let's see what double would say. Take out double. That does promise at least 1 heart. And we also may get to the wrong minor, and it only promises 5 or more spades. So we could double, partner may have a heart trick or 2, and 4 hearts could just be the contract that we want to be defending, especially vulnerable. We could bid 4 spades, but partner, of course, has promised no spades at all. So this is tricky. I'm torn either way. We could pass. That's not crazy, but looking at this hand, we don't need much to kind of make our sacrifice, worthwhile. Like 2 little spades, queen, jack of diamonds, and all of a sudden we're going down less than the value of their game, and they can make at least a game, maybe more. So the question is double or 4 spades. I have a feeling most people are going to double or pass, but I'm just scared of partner leaving it in and I have a void. Generally, when you take a double with a void, bad things tend to happen. Of course, if I bid 4 spades here, partner's going to be like 1-4 in the majors, and I'm going to look silly, but I'm going to bid 4 spades. Probably going to get doubled, but let's see what happens. No double yet. Okay, so we bought it. Wow, thank you, partner. What a partner. 3 spades and 2 little hearts for us and 2 aces. That's what I call a good partner. Now, let's try to, make partners work worthwhile. So we have no heart loser, 1 or 2 spade losers, and of course, could easily be 2 spade losers because there was a 4 heart bid on our right. And then we just have to tackle the minors. We have to find the queen of diamonds, and we have to see about the club suit. Obviously, we're going to take a club finesse, running the queen or the jack. We're going to have to decide which one to run, because if it gets covered by the king, we're then going to have to guess whether to finesse on the way back. First order of business, though, is we're going to rough the opening lead. And is any upside to roughing with the deuce? Maybe. You never know. We may need a later entry, and it doesn't really cost us to rough with the 6. Okay, an interesting West led the ace of hearts. So East's suit is probably like king, queen, jack, 8, something like that. I don't want to burn a dummy entry right now to take a spade finesse. I think it's extremely unlikely East was dealt king, queen, 3rd of spades. And if they were, we're just going to pay off to that. I don't want to start trying to guess the diamonds right now to get to the dummy and wasting a dummy entry. And who knows, a diamond could get roughed either now or on the way back after taking a spade finesse. So I'm just going to cash the ace of spades. For example, let's say I lead a diamond to the jack. And it wins, okay? And then I play a spade finesse to the 10, and it loses to the king. And then West gives East a diamond rough with the queen. Now I've just lost 2 trump tricks for no reason. So I'm going to bang down the ace of spades. 5 and 4 is fine. 3, okay. So the question is, do I just any cost to playing another spade right now? I don't think so. At worst that happens is West wins, cashes another spade, and plays a heart. Now we're down to 2 trumps in our hand, and we just have to bang out the clubs. And if the club's set up, we're going to have pitches for our 2 little diamonds in our hand. So let's see what happens here. Of course, we're praying that they're 2-2, but we expect West probably has both of the remaining spades. And if East has both the remaining spades, that's unlucky. We can always go back to bed. All right, and I'm actually going to unblock the jack here, just in case it goes queen. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're getting a count on the hand. East had 2 spades, probably 8 hearts, so that's 10 cards, and they probably only have 3 cards in the minors. We're going to rough with the 8. All right, so let's take stock. I think all we're going to do now is run the queen of clubs and basically hope that the club suit comes in. And if it doesn't come in, we're actually going to have like a perfect count on the hand and hopefully be able to pick up the queen of diamonds. So I'm going to start with the jack of clubs. Let's see. I lose to singleton king. Okay, void. There you go. So take note, if we had taken a spade finesse, if we had gone to dummy and taken a spade finesse to guard against the extremely unlikely king, queen, 3rd, West would have won and could have played a club for East to rough. So now, of course, it would have cost them a club trick, but it's still, the principle kind of is still the same. So what we want to do here is just bang out the clubs. Let's see, if we go queen of clubs, it's going to go king, and then we just bang out the 10, and then dummies 2 clubs are good for the diamonds. Or if it goes queen of clubs duck, we just then play another club, etc. So here we go. Okay, and I'm going to claim them to give us a rough slough, meaningless anyway. There you go. So we had the count right, 2 spades, 8 hearts, and it turns out no clubs and 3 diamonds. Let's just see what they can make, because that was the interesting part. If we had made a takeout double, partner would not have passed. They would have bid 4 spades, of course. They have 3 spades and 2 hearts. So maybe double, you can let me know in the comments if you think double was a better bid, better call. Maybe it was. We would have got spades in any case. So deal number 4, 7 and 7 is 14 with a singleton spade. So it's, of course, in 4th chair, very dangerous to be opening with only 1 spade in your hand. But some people use what's called the Pearson rule, which is you add your high cards and your spades, and if the total is 15 or more, you open. So here we do have 14 high card points and 1 measly spade. So we are going to open. We're a little bit scared, of course. I mean, on a really bad day, the opponents might be able to make 4 spades. And we look kind of silly for opening. But here we're going to open a diamond because we want to be able to rebid 2 clubs if partner responds 1 spade, which of course is reasonably likely. We're not opening a no trump. We're rebidding a no trump with this shape. And this is also maybe a potential advertisement for like reverse Flannery, where over 1 of a minor, a jump to 2 hearts, most people play, or some would show like 5 spades and 4 hearts in the hand, not good enough to take 2 calls, not good enough to invite. As it is, we're going to rebid 3 hearts here. We're not thrilled with developments here, especially if West supports spades. But we have 14 highs, 4 trumps, and a singleton. We have a clear 3 heart bid. 3 spades, of course, 4 hearts. We're fearing the 4 spade bid. If you want to be a tough opponent to play against, try to bid 4 spades a lot over 4 hearts. Even if it seems crazy, it actually always works. It seems to work out a lot more often than it should. But let's hope we buy this in 4 hearts. Okay, great. So partner has another good hand for us, or I guess for themselves. 3 little spades, the king of diamonds to fill us in, and a club lead into the queen. Unfortunately, though, our trump suit is lacking a bit. So the opponents are probably going to beat us if that was a singleton club, if that was shortness, because they're going to be able to take a ruff and score 2 trumps and a spade. What we want them to not be able to do is actually score 2 ruffs, a spade, and 2 high trumps. So we'd like to, I think we're going to have to win the first trick in the north hand, in Declare's hand, and just play a hard up. I don't think we want to dither around breaking other suits. What we could do, however, is play a spade right away. That might threaten the opponent's communication because that would kill the entry for another ruff. No, I don't think that's good enough. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play a heart. Well, I don't know. That might fool the opponents, though. If I play a spade, they might think I'm trying to ruff spades in the dummy and just play heart, heart, heart. Maybe that's a better idea. I'd like to play the 2 of spades from dummy. So West is kind of in the dark as to whether, if they don't have the ace, it's going to be difficult for them to rise up with an honor to give their partner a ruff. So maybe a diamond to the queen is a way to get to the dummy. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is, do we stick in the 9 of clubs? Of course, the lead could just be from 3 small or queen third, and then, nothing to worry about. 5, okay, 10. And if hearts are 4-1, it probably doesn't matter. They're probably making a game. They're certainly making 3, but I think I want to play a spade first. Because that lead that lead, I mean, but that lead was fourth best. Then they return another club, and then they might get a ruff with their doubleton heart. I'm going to play a spade. Jack, okay, that's good. Queen, he returned. Okay, interesting. They want to tap the dummy. Very interesting. Okay. We have no choice now but to ruff. And then we're going to play a heart towards the Jack 10. Now, what we want to avoid is them being able to kind of draw dummies trump and then get in and cash a spade. But if trumps get drawn, then we're going to have a pitch anywhere on the diamonds. I'm going to play a low heart. Hopefully don't lose to a singleton honor here. Okay, it almost feels like this guy's trying to get his partner in for a ruff. But what we want to do here, though, is we want to, on the next round of trump, you want to make sure the queen is played from the south hand, from the dummy. If we play the 7 towards the 10 and it loses to the ace, then the opponents can play a spade, making this ruff with the queen, and then that promotes a trump trick for them. So I'm going to win the queen and play the, or do I want to win the king and lead a low heart towards the queen? That's probably slightly better. And then if trumps are 4-1, I may be able to adjust. I could also take a ruff right now in spades, but I don't want to do that in case trumps are 4-1. But am I going to be able to get back to my hand? Let's say I win the king of diamonds, play a heart towards the queen. They win the ace, force dummy to ruff. Now, how do I get back to my hand? If I play a club to the king and it gets ruffed, that's a disaster. So I think I'm going to play the queen of diamonds and then plunk down the queen of hearts. Or I could take my spade ruff right away. Yeah, maybe the spade ruff right away is better. No, but then I still can't get back to my hand. Yeah, I'm just going to plunk down the queen of diamonds. If trumps are 4-1, that's not good. Ah, they were 4-1. Disaster. Total disaster. So now we have to hold the damage. West has a trump trick. Okay, they still have the 9 of hearts. So of course we would have done much better to start hearts from the north hand, low towards the queen. That would have saved us a trick in high cards, but the opponent still might have been able to either come to a ruff or forcing us in spades to generate another trick. But anyway, we've got to hold the damage here, so I have to be able to pitch that 9 of spades. I should have ruffed it earlier, of course. So that was a mistake with trumps 4-1. So let's see, when's West going to ruff in? It looks like they have 4 spades, 4 hearts. The lead of the 4 of clubs, if that was 4th best, then they have 2 clubs and 3 diamonds, and I can whip off the diamonds to pitch my spade. If the 4 of clubs was singleton, which is extremely unlikely, then East would have been like 6-5 or even 5-6. That's impossible. Diamonds is our hope for pitches. Also, if the lead was from 3 small clubs, then West would have had 3 clubs, 4-4 in the majors, and 2 diamonds only. So we're actually going to find out. How do we do this? But he played the 5 on the first round. I think the lead was from like queen 4th. Nine, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. I actually think the diamond's getting rough. So if West had 4 spades, 4 hearts, one club has to catch, because otherwise they would have been roughing the diamond. Or excuse me, East would have been showing out in diamonds. So let's see what happens here. 5-6. Okay, and the 7. Now this is interesting. If the lead was from queen 4th, but that doesn't make sense. Why would West have stuck in the 5 of clubs at trick 1 from queen 6-5? Their partner could have had the king. Or from 10-6-5, their partner could have had the queen. So I actually think West is out of clubs now, and I could be totally wrong, but I think the lead was queen 10-4th. So I think East's hand was something like ace fifth, singleton king, 3 little, and queen 10 fourth. So I'm going to play diamonds to try to get rid of my spade, and hopefully my card reading is accurate, but it may not be. 10, that could be good. No, disaster. Okay, so we went down an extra trick, which is not good. And now we can claim. And of course, clubs were 3-3 to begin with. So he found the 5 from 8-6-5 and queen third there. So we should have stuck in the 9 of clubs from dummy. That would have actually revealed a lot right away. And of course, we can make 3 only hearts. Even if we guess the heart suit, the opponents just are able to tap the dummy and generate a long trump trick for themselves. So still not good though, going 2 down. You should have an opportunity to beat me on that one. And we come to the final deal. We have yet another 6-4-3-0 hand where this hand is pretty good for offense. We have 14 high card points. We're just going to open 1 diamond. Partner bids a spade, 2 spades. 2 spades here should be natural, and I'm sure it is. Just looking at our hand, it is. So we want to bid. We don't want to sell out to 2 spades, even though we know trumps are breaking badly for them. You know, partner only promised 4 spades for this. They could have a 9 card fit and be at the 2 level. We have a pretty good hand. This may be overstating it slightly, but we do want to bid. What's double, first of all? Is it another takeout double? Yeah, another takeout double. Doesn't promise any spades, 3 or 4 hearts, 5 or 6 diamonds, 3 or 4 clubs. That kind of fits our hand. We're not crazy about doubling though. You know, we've seen disasters where partner passes with something like, you know, Jack 9 fifth of spades, and they get 1 trump trick and they make this hand. Partner's a passed hand, but we do have to compete. Our other choice would be 3 clubs or 3 diamonds. I think this probably overemphasizes the clubs slightly, and 3 diamonds maybe overemphasizes the diamonds, and you lose the club suit. So I'm going to double. This is taking a bit of a chance, and we're praying partner can bid 3 of a minor. Three spades, 4 diamonds. Wow. All right, action. So 3 spades is just not forcing. I don't think it's a game try per se. It's just, I want to compete. 4 diamonds freely from our partner. So they're showing 0 to 3 hearts, 4 spades at least, which they showed, and 4 or more diamonds. So if we look at 4 or more diamonds, basically our hand, all we're going to lose is hearts and the ace of clubs. Now, how many points does partner kind of promise? 5 to 11 high card points. So obviously, if they have the right high card points, king, jack of hearts, ace of clubs, my goodness, we're going to make a slam. So I think we actually do have to bid game here. Understanding that, yeah, if partner has like king, jack of spades and the jack of hearts and the queen of diamonds, we're likely down in 5 diamonds. But let's see what 5 diamonds will show. Strong 17 to 23 high card points. I mean, we're a little bit light for that, but we are making up for it in shape. There's really no other bid we could make here if we're going to bid. 4 spades is just too much with this hand. But, you know, we are playing in a 30-point deck, so we just hope partners' cards are not in spades. They may have passed if they had a real loaded spade holding. So we're going to bid 5 diamonds to play, and we're going to see what we buy. Don't race to 6, partner. Doubled. Okay. Are we going to redouble? We are not, because we have no idea if we're making. And let's see what happens here. Okay, so this is not terrible. Partner has king, jack of hearts, as we had hoped for. Very little in spades, and queen, fourth of diamonds. So the double was on our left with West. So they rate to have the high cards. Looks like ace, king of spades, probably the ace of clubs. So the only question is, if trumps are 2-1 on this deal, it's going to be simple. We draw a trump, and we're going to be able to rough our 2 losing clubs in the dummy. However, whenever things look simple, we have to kind of take a closer look. If trumps are 3-0, then we can't draw trumps, because we're only going to be left with 1 diamond in the dummy to rough our 2 losing clubs. We're assuming the West has the ace of clubs. So what do we want to do? I believe, well, we're going to rough the first trick. And I think it's okay to ruff low. We're still going to have 3 entries to the dummy and trumps if we need them, which we don't. So we're going to ruff low, and I think we can afford to play 1 round of diamonds to dummy. If both opponents follow, we're just going to be claiming. And if West shows out, which he'd be the more likely one to show out, then we're actually going to have to work on clubs without touching trumps again, because we're going to have to lose the lead and ruff 2 clubs in the dummy. So let's see what we can do here. So we're going to leave a trump to dummy. Good. Both followed. I'm going to claim. I'm going to lose a club and a heart for making my contract. Okay, so let's check that out. I should have redoubled, although the opponents may be able to run to spades. Yeah, 5 spades would have actually been a cheaper alternative for the opponents than doubling us in 5 diamonds. Notice that West fell into a bit of a trap that some newcomers make. They had 3 aces and they saw that the opponents were at the 5 level and decided that was impossible for them to make it. And so they doubled and one of their aces got ruffed. So a very interesting deal to finish. 5 pretty interesting deals. We had the opponents get to 3-0 trump on a bit of a misfit, but lots of power. And of course, we could have done better on opening lead, but that was very difficult. Here, both hearts were offside, nothing we could do. On the third deal, we guessed to bid 4 spades. If we had doubled, our partner would have put us in 4 spades anyway, and that worked out perfectly. That was a great contract, and we played it safe, and things came home for us. Board 4 was the one where I think you have an excellent chance of beating me. I didn't play that one great. I think I could have either read the cards a bit better and started trumps from the north hand, and also I should have just roughed a spade near the end in case trumps were 4-1. And then the last deal, I think, if you bid game, the opponents probably are going to double you, and then you're going to tie me. So that was it, 5 deals. I hope you had fun, and leave a like and subscribe and put a comment below. It definitely helps the YouTube algorithm show this to other bridge fans, and let me know how you did. So once again, Danny Miles from Toronto signing off, and we'll see you again soon.